So what we've got here is action figure or character number 9 from the movie 9. And a set that I created out of XPS foam, and you know, I made some various supporting props, some out of popsicle sticks and 3D prints and various other things. But if you follow my channel, and I hope you do, and if you haven't, then please like and subscribe. Then you'll see how I made, you know, the different parts of this set here. And one of the things that I want to do tonight is talk about a light modifier called a Gobo. And I think I talked about this before a long time ago in one of my other videos, but I just I'm using one tonight because I think it adds a lot to this scene. And all a Gobo is beside a funny name, is, you know, the one that I'm using anyway is a piece of black foam board with some lines cut in it. That's all. It's just like a big stencil that goes in front of your light. You know, it controls the amount of light passing through it. And I'm not sure if we can see on the camera here. Let me take this off the mount. See, that's a piece of black foam board, and I just took an X-Acto knife and just cut some slits in it. That's all. That's my Gobo. And what that does is gives me all this lighting that, I mean, it looks like it's more than it is. It's dramatic. It adds a lot of scene to the image. Or it adds a lot of drama to the scene. Let me get it right. I'm going to put my GoPro back on the mount. As with any down direct overhead light, there's shadows on the figure, and there are here as well. And that's okay. Shadows are great when you want to create mood and drama. I'm using an overhead. My main light is an Explorer 600 on a C-stand. It's a flash. Right now, the modeling light is on just for the sake of the video, but I'll turn it to flash. I have, I'm going to use, in this first shot, I'm going to use a Sigma Art 35mm 1.4. And I created intentionally a big floor for this diorama so that I could use my 35mm and get a really cool looking shot. And so I created this 24 by 24 floor in order to be able to do that. And Canon EOS R. And the only real things I'm going to do, this is pretty much, oh, there is one light behind the hole in the wall over here. There is a, let me see if I can get the camera, if this is going to pick that up. Let's see. I think you can kind of see that. Yeah. There's a hole in the wall with a pipe, and there's a lume cube behind that. So there's a little bit of light there, and I turned that one at an angle so that it doesn't shine directly through the hole. I don't want to take away from the subject with a bright light to the left of the frame, and that's what that would do. So at any rate, let's set this camera up and get a quick composition. So here, you know, I'm set up in the, I've got my composition. You know, the first thing I have to overcome really in this setup is, since the lighting is so you know, like dramatic and directional, it's not it's modified, but it's not really controlled in a way that lets me allows me to put light like right on his face. I have to, and since I do want, you know, obviously his glasses and his eyes to have some light so that we connect to the character in the scene, I need to be able to bring some light to his eyes. And the part of the struggle in doing that is keeping a shutter speed that's going to allow me to, you know, use a flashlight or some other, you know, light source to to light his eyes while not casting a shadow behind him on the wall, it being fast enough so that I can, you know, not cast a shadow on him behind the wall and still light his eyes. So I got a couple different ways that we're going to do that. We're going to start out right now. My settings are 1/20th of a second, f5.6, and you know, ISO 100. I want to get a quick exposure just on that and see what the flash looks like and everything as it fires off on the wall and the light patterns that we get. I'm going to write this image number down, and I just knocked the figure over. So let me the struggle. Let me turn this on, and the star of our show just fell over. He's a real solid figure too, so I just shook the table is what I did. So that's my operator error. Actually, it gives me a chance to give him a little bit of a different pose. Turn him a little bit more left shoulder toward the camera. So we'll make use of that, of his suggestion to fall down. He didn't like his pose. So let's go ahead and zoom in and get focus back on his face. There we go. He was complaining to the union he didn't like his pose, and so he fell down on the job and to get my attention. It's all good. Okay, so let's try that one more time. Let me turn this overhead light off. I need a clapper. Off, clap on. Okay. Let's try this again without knocking the table over. Once again, 1/20th, f5.6, ISO 100, and I mean, if you need to know my flash durations, 1/32, but at any rate, let's go ahead and take this shot here. And all we're looking for is seeing what the effect of the flash is on the room, and that's image 1416. Let's write it down again without knocking everything over on the table. 1416. We're going to write test. I like the way it looks. It looks great. I love those light patterns. I love the drama. Once again, though, back to my other point is I want light on his face. So I'm going to use a variety of tools. I have a flashlight here fitted with a snoot from the GoPro or the LumeCube. It just happens to fit on here really nicely. So that's going to be the first one that I try. And I can just hold it in my hand. So let's take this shot again. And the thing is, I don't want to cast any shadow, or I don't want the light source to be so strong and the shutter speed to be so slow that it allows a shadow to fall on the wall behind him. I don't want that. So let's try this again. And let's take a look and see. Okay, no shadow on the wall behind him. That's good. Image 1417. Let me compare these two real quick. No difference in the eyes. So let me bring out my little magic wand light here that I built. It's a wired LED light to 2 AA batteries, and let's bring this in and see if I can have some luck with this. 1/20th of a second is pretty fast to try to get any light in the scene like this. So I may end up having to slow my shutter down. Oh no, I do have some light on his eyes now. And here's the other thing, I'm just so picky about stuff. Image 1418. Let's put some light on in this room. 1418. Okay, now I'm just writing this down on my yellow pad. We do have light on his eyes. But as I scroll down, you can see as I scroll down to the toolbox, I would like a little light on the toolbox also. So there's a couple options here. I can do another shot and light the toolbox and blend both shots in Photoshop, or I can slow my shutter speed down and light paint a little bit longer and light both things in one exposure. So let's go from 1/20th of a second. Let's go down to, oops. Let's go down to, let's try a half, well, no, half second isn't going to give me the time that I want to light paint both. Let's do 2 seconds. And let me turn the monitor off on my computer, because it will definitely pick that light up in 2 seconds. There we go. And we've got a few, now we've got 2 seconds worth of time that we can expose in this frame. Let me get my hand motion set up over here, because I don't want this to be in the frame. Okay. Oops. Let's see what we got on that shot, if I ruined it. Yeah, light was in the frame. 2 seconds is a little bit long. Let me take a look and see. Yeah, the light wand is not going to be probably what I want to do for this, because if we look at the room on this image 1419, let me just write this down. The room is way brighter than I want. I don't want to get, I want all that drama, I want all that darkness in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit this snoop on this flashlight, and we're just going to keep the exposure at 2 seconds, but I'm going to just light paint this by hand. And 2 seconds isn't very much time to light paint, you know, but I'm going to get her done. First the eyes. Let's see if we got something here. Okay, we got a faint shadow on the wall behind. His eyes are nicely lit, but there's the start of a shadow, and I don't want that. So toolbox looks decent, and this is 1420. Let me go to 1 second on the that's not very much time, so I'll have to get both things. I just don't want a shadow on the back wall. Okay, I got nice light on him. I really like the light on him, but I've got a shadow on the back wall, so I've got tell you what I'll do, maybe I'll light him from the other side so the shadow falls into the corner behind him. Let's try that. It's so many things to try, man. I can raise up a little bit and move the shadow down on the ground behind him, and you won't see it. Let's try this. Okay. Just move the shadow to the floor and we won't see it, and that will work also. Okay, I like that. Image 1422. And you might think, oh, it's a small thing, it's just a shadow. But I don't want that directional lighting. I want the main light and the drama coming from overhead. And I'm just adding some fill light, and I don't want the fill light to look like a main light, to look like, you know, it's casting shadow on the background. It kind of ruins the feel for me. And I'm just scrolling through this image, and yeah, good. There's no shadow that's visible on this, so I do like that angle. There's always a way you can make this happen. And And that's image 1422.
All right. It took us a few shots to get here, but we got the details ironed out. We've got his eyes lit, and we've got no shadow cast on the wall or anywhere around, because that would ruin the drama of the scene. It would ruin the feel to me. So the first image was the one you saw right out of camera. The second image right here is the one that I edited. Beautiful light on the eyes, no shadows, little saturation and contrast. Looks great. Let's look at some other examples.
Well, workman's comp. So let's just do an easy thing and get a little back shot, because that 9 looks pretty cool right there. I like that. Let's get him a little closer to the camera. A little more. Let's see what the modeling light, where the modeling light falls on him. Okay, the modeling light. This might be. I've got an idea here. Now that there's flour everywhere, let me blow some of this flour out. Okay. It doesn't snow inside a warehouse, so we don't want that. We don't want that look. And I do have a bulb blaster that I could use, but I'm just not. I'm too lazy to go get it. Sometimes laziness wins. So I'm just going to rotate the camera around. I mean, not the camera. Camera's still in portrait orientation with a 35mm lens, same settings as I had before. But what I want to do with this, I just want to get a picture of the backside of him, like he's walking into work. Oh, this, you know what? This is nice, man. Oh, let's see. Oh, I think you'll agree with me when you see this. This is pretty nice. Whoops. Let's tighten the camera up. We don't want it sagging on the tripod. There we go. Okay. So let me just tell you where I'm at with this, because I don't want to move the GoPro, so you can see behind the camera. Really, it's where we're at is where am I? Okay, I just got focused on the back of number 9's head. One of the great things about this shot is I don't need to add fill light to his face, so that makes it really nice. We're just going to get a whole shot of his backside with the big number 9 and the warehouse with the ceiling lights, and this is going to be great. And if I need some fill, we'll see. I think this would be cool, man. That big number 9 on his back is just really nice. Okay, so looks cool, looks great. But let me so it's always a but. Ah, dang it. And this is image 1429. I love it, but I can't see the number 9. So let's add a small amount of fill to the number 9. I love the black floor behind him, that he's walking into this dimly lit warehouse. Sort of a transition of lighting between where he's coming from and where he's going to. But I do want to see the number 9. That's pretty important. So let's do that shot again. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to use my flashlight once again with the snoot, because I really can. Nothing, you know, I really can keep that, once I find it again, I can really keep the, with my fingers over the front of the flashlight lens, I can really control the amount of light that gets onto the scene with that. So there we go, just a little slit of light on his back. And we're going to keep the shadow directly in front of him, so this fill light will be on axis with the lens. Let's take a look at that. And yeah, needs a little bit more light. Let's do it again. Let's just get in a little closer. There we go. Number 9. Right there. That should work right there. Absolutely work. Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Look at that image. That is a great base image. We can edit this image, and we're going to take a look at the edited image right here. Look at this as we scroll through. We've got that Gobo beautifully lit overhead, casting light down onto this dramatic scene. His back, the number 9, I wanted to be lit with the fill light, and it is. It looks beautiful. Lots of nice contrast and feel to this image. I love it. Super happy with it. Now let's take a look at a few other images that I didn't show you on the video here. That I think you'll really enjoy. And also remember, visit my website to see the images in a little bit more larger size, insightfulimagery.com, and click the toy photography tab, and you can see these images come up really nicely on a TV monitor, computer monitor. Look at this image. This one here, I love it. It's called Dreamer. It's about the guy who just looks up knowing that there's so much more he could be doing and that he's capable of. He just dreams of something bigger, but he goes to work every day because that's what he's got to do. I made that little toolbox out of clay. I made the mop. Oh, I just love that image, man. It just really has a lot of emotion to it. Once again, I used the Gobo in this one. It helped create some really dramatic lighting. You know, the shoulder to the camera, the head up. It's just got a whole feel to this image that really communicates, and I connect with it. I hope you do too, but it communicates to me, you know, somebody that, you know, has more on his mind and he's somewhere else, you know, in his heart and soul. But physically, you know, he's got responsibilities. Let's look at this one. I absolutely love this one. I wired some lights and I put them into the box. And this is an incredible image to me. I really love it. Once again, I used the Gobo. It's the only lighting I used here in a little fill, you know, and I had him looking up at the Gobo here, you know, at the light through the Gobo so that we really got his eyes lit, got the camera real low on the table, and I created this whole image that, you know, makes it look like he's dragging this box from a dark spot into a light spot of the frame. And, you know, he's looking out of frame and you're wondering what he's thinking, what he's pulling, where he's going. You could see the light in the box right here. You know, it's glowing. I wired that in with a 6-volt, 3-volt button batteries and a 6-volt or a 12-volt light. So I didn't have any 6-volt lights on me, so I'd use a 12-volt. So, but it's bright enough in the box. It looks great. It really tells a story. I love that image right there, man. I'm super happy with it. I'm super happy with all these images. And this is constantly a growing process. You know, it's not just take a picture one time and that's it. There's little details, little things that come up, little obstacles along the way that each photograph presents that you've got to overcome to get the final image that you want. I'm not the best, but, you know, I enjoy the process of figuring out how to get the image I want out of what I see on the table in front of me, working the angles, working the lights, working the modifiers, you know, and having fun while I do it. And that's just part of this whole process and sharing it with you folks. You know, I appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. My website is insightfulimagery.com. I'm offering, you know, some 3D printed props for your dioramas. You can see all my toy photography galleries on my website. You can see all the crafting stuff that I use on my website. It's the same stuff I use to build these props and these dioramas. It's all on my website with Amazon links to buy any of those products you think you might be able to use also. But in the meantime, folks, I appreciate you watching. Share all my work if you can. You know, share my enthusiasm. I appreciate everybody's feedback and being a part of this toy community. Thanks a lot. Take care.